All right, friends, this is going to be part 32 of Dinosaurs and Man presentation. And in this section, we're going to get into dinosaurs on the ark. That's a question that I get quite frequently whenever people talk to me for the first time about dinosaurs and man and coexisting together. That's one of the first things they say. Hey, do you believe there were dinosaurs on the ark? And if you believe the Bible, you believe that God created the dinosaurs along with man on day 6, then when it comes to the flood, it's really not hard to imagine dinosaurs being on the ark. And we're going to look at that. I'm going to show you my reasons why, and that way you can show this to other people whenever they ask you. And so, but at the same turn, we're also going to look at some other aspects about the verses that speak about kinds. What is a kind? You'll see that over and over and over again in the creation account and in the flood account. The Lord will over and over again say kinds. And so we're going to dig deep into a rabbit hole in the animal kingdom, and I think you're going to be quite amazed. I know I was whenever I started digging into this. And so, but the Bible is just, there's so much really good information in there. And it's really important to notice what God states in His Word and what He does not state. What He does not say in His Word. That in some cases, that can be even more important, depending on what the topic is and what the question is. But we're going to look at that, and I'm hoping to help you guys understand this. And so, if you notice on the screen here, we're just going to jump right into the flood account. God has, in Genesis chapter 6, He's told Noah that He's going to destroy the planet and any life form on the land. That's where He was after, is the land. And the animals are those that have nostrils. And so He's going to kill them. He's going to destroy them. Excuse me. But it says here in Genesis chapter 6, 14 through 16, it says, "Make thee an ark of gopher wood, rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shall pitch it within and without with pitch. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make of it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. A window shalt thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above. And the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof, with lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it." So, the first thing we need to notice is who is telling Noah what to do, what to build. God's telling him. God's in control of this whole thing. And so we need to understand that, is that Noah just didn't get out a piece of paper and a pen and get everybody around and said, okay, let's make this thing, what do you think we ought to do? God told him. He told him what to get, the dimensions, and exactly how to build the thing. He told him that. And so God is in control. God is telling him what to do. And God has a whole lot more into this, which we're going to look at later. And so, but it's not just a bunch of people gathering around and then throwing something together. God is in control of this whole thing from beginning to the end. When we talk about a cubit, we're talking about the elbow to the tip of the finger. Now, when it comes to the length of it, it depends on the culture. For the most part, everybody's got different sizes. They tend to be around the same general size, the general measurements, but they do change here and there. And so you got your Hebrew short, Egyptian, your common short, Babylonian long, and the Hebrew long and the Egyptian long. And so you can see right there to the right of that, those are the different measurements. Now it does say here in my notes, a royal cubit adds about 3 inches to the standard cubit, which was 7.5 to 18 inches, which that's about what you're going to hear a lot of folks say. It's about 17.5 to 18 inches what a cubit is. But at any rate, it says here, this royal cubit would add 3 inches to that, which would make the cubit length about 20.4 to 21.6 inches. Using 20.4 as the cubit, the ark would be 510 feet long, 85 feet wide, and 51 feet high. And so, again, depending on the length of the cubit, popular measurements you're going to get for the length of the ark would be somewhere within 450 to 510 feet long. And so, again, now the ark's volume was approximately 1.88 million cubic feet. The ark had the cargo capacity of 522 railroad stock cars. Now, we're not talking about them being able to put 522 railroad stock cars in there. It's the cargo capacity. What could those railroad stock cars hold? That's the cargo capacity. You could put 522 cargo capacity inside of that ark. And so, for you guys that don't know, this is a railroad stock car. I had to look it up myself when I was originally putting this together, but that's what the railroad stock car looks like. You're going to be hauling cattle. And now the ark also was large enough to contain nearly 450 semi-truck trailers. 450 semi-truck trailers. Now, it says in Genesis 8:13 that Noah removed the covering of the ark. And so this right here came from Answers in Genesis. Is an article back in 2007 called Thinking Outside the Box. I think they did an outstanding idea. And I think they did a great idea. Again, you're thinking outside the box. You still got your standard elongated rectangle box. And they're just thinking, what would the cover have looked like? So they're not adding anything to it. They're just giving some ideas of what the ark could have looked like. And so, again, if you notice at the top right there, right above that man there, that could have been something like a covering he just opened up. And then you had the window there to the side of him. And so, which would have been a cubit up from the roof. And so, again, this is just an idea of what it possibly could have looked like. And so, also, on the ends, this right here is a model from Answers in Genesis of the ark, and you can buy these online if you want one for your Sunday school class or for your desk. I've got several different types. This is a different one that I have. This was made by a gentleman in Pennsylvania called Den's Model Ships. Den's Model Ships. You want to see what this guy can do? This is child's play what this guy can do. He's into like pirate ships and stuff like that. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal artist when it comes to this. But he made this ark for me. And he also made the ark that's inside of this box here that I take the presentations with me, and this one right here. He made that one also, that one on that second shelf. But at any rate, this is just another type that I take with me because a lot of folks think of this shape here, what the ark looks like. And so some of the reports on what the ark looked like, the reports of the ark on Mount Ararat, looks more like this type of shape. And so, but again, there's a lot of controversy on the location of the ark, but Answers in Genesis, thinking outside the box, which I think is a good thing, they put the ark may have had something like this. You still got the general shape, a rectangle shape for the ark, but again, a box, rectangle, long, elongated shape, but they're thinking, what if? And so, but if you'll notice on the ends here, on the screen, they believe that it could have had a fixed rudder to catch the water, to assist the ark in turning toward the wind. It would need something similar to a rudder on the stem. Noah may have used a design like this. Heavy winds would then push the ark safely through the waves rather than pushing the long ship sideways. And so that's, again, another idea of what it possibly could have. Of course, and another thing they're thinking is that it could have had a fin to catch the wind. Heavy winds will cause a drifting vessel to turn sideways, or called broaching, leading to a dangerous situation. To avoid this, Noah may have added a fin on the bow. This would catch the wind and turn the ship into into the waves. Once pointed into the waves, the ark would be much safer and more comfortable. And so, again, this is just, again, you got the Lord with you. And so the Lord is going to make sure that this thing is not going to turn over and kill everybody that's on board. And so, but again, it's a possibility. The scripture doesn't say that, that the Lord told him to do these two things. But again, it's a possibility that they could have had such devices on the ship. Now, they also believe it's a possibility, again, just a theory, that it possibly could have had a moon pool somewhere around the middle of the ark. And so that would be somewhere along the inside of it here. You would have this moon pool that would act like a piston, pumping fresh air in and out of the ark. And they could also get water out of or dump refuse in it. And so, again, it's just an idea, but it's a possibility that they could have had a moon pool. And they think that it, if I remember correctly, they believe that it could have prevented the stress on it. And so I don't know. It's, again, this is just an idea, just for conversation. And so, again, this is an idea that has been put forth. Now, there was a study done in 1993. This was a secular study done on the ark and its dimensions, and they concluded that the proportions given in the Bible were perfect for stability, comfort, and strength. And so this was a 1993 secular study. And so it was done by, I'm looking in my notes at the bottom, it was done by secular engineers called CRISO. It's KRISO, a world-class ship research center in South Korea. The biblical ark dimensions outperformed all other proportions. And so, again, just something to think about. Now, what we'll do is we're going to stop right there. And when we come back, we're going to start jumping into the animal kingdom. And so I really believe that that this should clear up a lot of questions when we talk about species and kinds and stuff. And so we're going to really dig deep into this. And so be sure to watch this next video. And but again, guys, I hope this does help you out. I do go in depth more on the ark, on my Noah's Ark and flood presentation, but I thought, hey, why not? We're talking about the ark and dinosaurs on the ark. Kind of briefly go over some of the ark's dimensions and some of the things that it could have or could not have or maybe had. And so it's just something to bring up in your Sunday school classes or in your study groups. And again, it's the Bible has a tremendous amount to say about many of the questions that we get and some of the gray areas that we don't have. All we can do is just have theories or opinions on. And so it's good to talk about these things, though. And so, we weren't there, so we don't know. And so, some of these things, until the ark, does it even exist anymore? We don't know. I go into that when we go into Noah's Ark and the flood. And but other than that, guys, we'll see you next time. I hope this has helped you out. I love you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.